Alright, so we're going to continue factor in standard form, but when a is not 1. So, in our first example, we have 3x squared minus 10x minus 8. So let's identify our ABC value. A is 3, B is negative 10, and C is negative 8. So we're going to continue using the x table. So on the top is A times C. So we're going to use 3 times negative 8, which is negative 24. And then our B value, negative 10. So doing that as before, we're going to find factors of A times C. So 1 times negative 24. Positive 1 and negative 24, that would be a difference of negative 23. 2 times negative 12. So positive 2 and negative 12, that would be a difference of negative 10. So since the difference between these two numbers, negative 10, matches with this B, we're going to use these two factors. So positive 2 and negative 12. Next, once we find our factors, we're going to write it in factor form. X plus 2 and x minus 12. Alright, after you finish factoring, so again, after you finish factoring, what we're going to do is we're going to divide and move. You only do this when A is not 1. So I repeat, we're going to divide and move because A was not 1. So what we're going to divide by, we're going to divide by the A value, 3, divide by 3. So the one that we could divide, we can simplify. So negative 12 divided by 3, it will be x minus 4. The one where you cannot divide into a whole number, 2 divided by 3, that will not become a whole number. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the denominator in front of x, not in front of the parenthesis, in front of x. So the new factor will be 3x plus 2. So when you are to FOIL this, your answer should match up with the example. So our final answer is 3x plus 2 times x minus 4. So in review, after you factor using the x table, now when your A value is not 1, you're going to do is divide and move. So first divide by the A value, the one that you could divide, such as this one, into a whole number, negative 12 divided by 3, which is negative 4. Then the one you cannot divide into a whole number, you move the denominator in front of x, which I did right here. So our new factor is 3x plus 2. And our final answers are these two factors, 3x plus 2 and x minus 4. In our second example, we have negative 4x squared minus 5x plus 6. So let's identify our ABC values. A is negative 4, B is negative 5, and C is positive 6. So in the top, A times C, so negative 4 times 6 will be negative 24, and then our B value will be negative 5. Alright, let's find factors of A times C. So factors of negative 24, we could do positive 1 times negative 24 positive 1 and then negative 24, that will be a difference of negative 23, so I'm not going to use that. And then 2 times negative 12, positive 2 and negative 12, that will be a difference of negative 10, so can't use that. 3 times negative 8, positive 3 and negative 8, that will be a difference of negative 5. So we can use that because it matches with our b, so these two factors. So positive 3 and negative 8. So we're going to put it in factor form. So x positive 3 means plus 3. Second x negative 8 means minus 8. Alright, so after we finish factoring, and since a was not 1, we're going to do divide and move. So we're going to divide by our a value, so negative 4, divide by negative 4. Now the only one that we could divide into a whole number is this one. Negative 8 divided by negative 4. This will become x plus 2. Now the only one that we cannot divide into a whole number is this fraction right here. Positive 3 divided by negative 4. That will not become a whole number, so what we're going to do is we're going to move negative 4 in front of x. So our new factor will be negative 4x plus 3. Now notice how I kept the original positive 3 plus 3 the same, and our denominator was negative 4, so I kept it as negative 4 and move it in front of x, which is why we have negative 4x plus 3. And then when you FOIL these two factors, it will match up with negative 4x squared, and it will still keep positive 6 the same. So again, when you FOIL these two factors, your answer should match up with the example. So our final answers are these two factors, negative 4x plus 3 times x plus 2. In our third example, we have negative 2x squared plus 7x minus 5. So our a value is negative 2, our b value is positive 7, and our c value is negative 5. So the top is a times c, and then the bottom is b for our x table. So in the top, a times c, negative 2 times negative 5 will be a positive 10, and then our b value will be 7 at the bottom of the x table. Alright, next, find factors of a times c, which is 10. A positive 10. So we can use positive 1 times positive 10. That will be the sum of 11. So we can't use that. Positive 2 times positive 5. These two positive numbers, it will be a sum of 7. So we're going to use those two factors. 2 and 5. Alright, let's put these two factors in factor form. So x plus 2 because of positive 2, x plus 5 because positive 5. Alright, since a was not 1, we're going to divide and move. So I'm going to divide by the original a, which is negative 2. Now, the only one that we can divide into a whole number is this one right here. So positive 2 divided by negative 2, that will become x minus 1. Now this one, this fraction, positive 5 divided by negative 2, or positive 5 over negative 2, this will not divide into a whole number, So we're going to move the denominator in front of x. So, and I'm going to keep it as negative 2. So it will be negative 2x plus 5. That will be our new factor. So, again, when you FOIL these two factors, your answer should match up with the example. So our final answer will be x minus 1 times negative 2x plus 5. In our first example, we have 5x squared minus 8x plus 3. So we're going to identify our ABC. A is 5, B is negative 8, and C is positive 3. So again, A is not 1. Keep that in mind. So in the top of the X table, A times C, so positive 5 times positive 3 will be positive 15. In the bottom, it will be B, which is negative 8. Alright, so let's figure out the factors of AC. Now we can do 1 times positive 1 times positive 15. So positive 1 and positive 15, that will be a sum of 16, which we can't use. Can't do 2, but 3 we can. 3, positive 3, and positive 5. So that will be a sum of 8. That is almost identical to our B value, but it's not. Our B value is negative 8. This one is a positive 8. So what we did was two positive number for positive 15. But what happened if we use two negatives? So negative 3 times negative 5. Negative 3 times negative 5 will become positive 15. And then when we combine those two numbers, the sum will be negative 8. So we found our correct proper factor, so negative 3 and negative 5. So even if A times C is a positive number, you have to take into account that you may not just have positive factors, but you might have to use negative factors, just like this example. So now we're going to put in factor form x minus 3 because it was negative, x minus 5 because it was also negative. Now, remember I mentioned that to keep in mind, A was not 1, so what we're going to do is divide and move. So we're going to divide both factors by the A value, so positive 5. So the only one that we can divide is this fraction right here. Negative 5 divided by positive 5, that would become x minus 1. And in this fraction, negative 3 over 5, you cannot divide into a whole number, so I'm going to move the 5, the denominator, in front of x. So it will be 5x minus 3. So our two factors is 5x minus 3 and x minus 1. This is our final answer. And if you want to double check, always FOIL and your answer should match up with the example. If not, double check your work when you FOIL. If everything was correct, then double check if you use the proper factors. So overall, for example 5x squared minus 8x plus 3, the final answer of the two factors are 5x minus 3 and x minus 1.